First things first, I can't believe this is the final season. This is the 25th episode of IPAcast as the Secretary General. What I basically see in IPA as an institution that has actually been set out as a very strong foundation since we exist. Whatever that we basically do, discussion, resolutions are for the purpose of the ASEAN community. We have a very strong members of parliaments throughout, with the current numbers of 2,935 altogether. Throughout every single year, we have basically seen a consistency since 2023, 2024, and this year. And our activities overall that basically capture the strategic theme 1 until the theme 3, we have achieved. This year itself is more than 500 activities. People are now aware of what IPA and how important is our members of parliament are being involved in a discussion. I wouldn't be able to do this without the support from my team. They believe in my leadership, but at the same time, IPA National Secretariat has always been supportive with what we're trying to do.
My hope for IPA is that we continue what we have started together and keep directing our work toward what genuinely serves a good cause for our region.
Her leadership did not just advance the objectives of IPA, it is really transformed the way we think, the way we work.
One of the biggest lessons SG left with us is to always keep our heart with ASEAN, to genuinely believe in what we advocate for.
IPA and Ibu Yanti strongly believe that the community relations is not just a unit. It is the soul of IPA missions on the people-centered.
SG's background in finance and legal affairs has helped shape IPA into a more strategic and accountable organization.
During the Secretary General's tenure, 6 new Observer Parliaments have joined the IPA, putting in the total number of 26 Observer Parliaments.
In 3 years, the ICT Directorate, we have progressed a lot, not only the technical, but also on digital and media.
Hello everyone, welcome to the final episode of IPAcast Season 1, Amplifying Voices of IPA. Now, IPAcast explored the world of ASEAN through conversations with parliamentarians, experts, and also leaders who will share their insight and experiences on a wide range of topics. Today, we're recording from the IPAcast studio at the IPA Secretariat Office, located within the ASEAN headquarters in Jakarta. This episode is a meaningful moment for all of us because we are celebrating and reflecting on the journey of our Secretary General of IPA, Her Excellency Architect Siti Reza Merianti Dato Haji Abdul Rahman, as she concludes her tenure. Now, over the past 3 years, under Her Excellency leadership, IPA has grown in so many ways, from more substantive committee meetings, stronger external initiatives, to a much more dynamic and visible digital presence. Now, we would like to invite Her Excellency to share her personal reflection on IPA's transformations and growth. Given the significance on this farewell episode, we are especially keen to discuss how she views IPA today and where she hopes it will continue to evolve. Her Excellency is now joining us. Ibu, welcome to IPAcast, the final episode, Ibu. And it is a genuine pleasure to have you with us for this final episode. So without further ado, let's begin, shall we?
Yes.
Okay. Now, to start off, to begin the questions. Throughout your tenure, Ibu, IPA has undergone meaningful developments and transformation that shapes how IPA thinks, works, and defines itself. Now, with that in mind, may I ask, how do you personally see the growth of IPA during your tenure? And when you reflect on IPA today compared to the IPA when you first began, what stands out as the achievement you feel most proud of?
Thank you so much. First things first is hello, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And thank you so much for inviting me to actually be now as the to really talk about my final role and also where I am as today. And first things first, I can't believe this is the final season. This is the 25th
25th.
episode
Wow.
of iPodcast, and going through the lesson, and I always remember that I used to sit the other side where you are sitting, hosting the iPodcast, and it has basically gone through a very successful journey. The 25th is a really nice number. To really look back and to actually share with regards to the first time when I assumed the role as a Secretary General. And I think when I basically came in 2023, before that, I was a member of parliament, a legislative council in Brunei from 2017 to 2022. And my involvement with IPA has actually been there for 5 years before I become the Secretary General. I attended the meeting. It has always been a very productive meeting to discuss as a member of parliament. But at the same time, I was also involved in ASEAN in the role of I was chairing ASEAN Business Advisory Council in the year 2021. So in a way, ASEAN has always been in my heart. So when I basically come in as the Secretary General, what I basically see in IPA as an institution that has actually been set out as a very strong foundation since we exist. We existed in 1977, just 10 years younger than ASEAN.
Exactly.
So when it was basically started with the 5 founding fathers, the vision of ASEAN and how the members of parliaments can support the vision of ASEAN plays a very strong foundation in what ASEAN is trying to actually achieve. And to really look into how we can approach this, whether it's in strategic approach and cohesive approach as well, it needs to actually define our ways in really engaging with the community, right? Especially with what our members present. They're basically representing the people of ASEAN.
Community.
Absolutely. So whatever that we basically do, discussion, resolutions, are for the purpose of the ASEAN community. And this is where we see a lot of discussion and opportunities as well at the same time, looking at our numbers of parliamentarians throughout our members. We have a very strong members of parliament throughout, with the current numbers of 2,935 altogether. So I think it's really important to see how our members plays this role, because the strength of IPA is with its people, and also where our members basically comes in. So one of the things that when I basically look into it when I came in as a day one is to see what sort of data is really available. I'm a very data-driven person. And without data, it's really hard to really look into what are the priority that we wanted to actually do that was raised by our members for the past 48 years. Right? So all this, the voices coming in from our members since when it basically started is important. And we have all this data in our database. It's just a matter of putting the numbers and finding out what is our priorities. And this is how it all started. So we look into what our vision, right? Because during that particular time, we don't have our strategic plan. And we're very glad that our members comes in during my first year, which is 2023. We brainstorm, we have a workshop, 2 workshops in that particular year to draft the IPA strategic plan for the year 2023 till 2030. That particular year, it was also approved. Right. So when we basically have it approved, and adopted in 2023,
23.
and that was during the chairmanship of Indonesia.
Ah, I see.
And we can't believe to actually be able to, right, started with the draft in 2023 and get it approved and adopted in August same
In
year.
the same year. Wow.
So the strength coming in from our members, 2 workshop, 1 online, getting consultation throughout with all our members, and also getting consensus.
That's the important one.
It's and supported. That's a really huge, successful kind of way that we managed to actually do it. 2024 is when we actually started with a lot of the implementation. And what's important is all the things that we basically do in terms of mechanism that we have is how do we monitor this, right? So strategic plan that we basically have, we have our activities that we need to actually achieve every single year.
Yeah.
And have we achieved those? That's another question, because we have 4 strategic themes under our strategic plan. And we use our mechanisms such as caucus to really update our members. What is the status of the strategic plan? And not just that. So we are basically very transparent. And I feel that it's one of those things that we need to actually do and continue to do in terms of transparency to our members. What are the challenges that we basically face? What do we need our members to support? And these are the kind of discussion that we normally have. And we feel that our members has been very supportive, strongly. And we also see that we need to elevate IPA to a higher level. And that is what we actually focused just during my first year itself to do all this. Now, the question is, how can we basically drive this and give awareness to the community of what IPA is doing? So we look into all our other digital platform as well, right? During that particular time, we only have Facebook, we only have our website, we have our IG, but it's not reaching out. So we need to capture the audience, not just community itself, but what about the youth, right? Because it's a huge population of youth that we have. Nearly 50% of ASEAN population are still youth. So we rebrand our strategy in terms of reaching out, giving awareness, creating another digital platform, such as what we're having now, which is the podcast. We call it as IPAcast. We have our digital law library, which we call it IPA Link. We also have our IPA Link Plus, IPA Link Go. Now we have another IPA Connects, right? So we have our model IPA on top of that and our roadshow. So all this plays a very important role to really reach out to the community, giving awareness of what ASEAN is, what IPA is basically doing to support this ASEAN initiative. Now, what is important to actually see in terms of another milestones that I'm quite proud to achieve as well, that our engagement with ASEAN has strengthened a lot. In the past year, when we actually started in 2023, we count the numbers of activities throughout, right? So we have about 160 activities in those 3 years that link with ASEAN, whether it's in a working or discussion kind of level. And it has been increasing. So in 2023, we have about 38 activities related to ASEAN, Secretariat or related to ASEAN. And not just the Secretariat itself, but communities, the CSOs, the entities. Then the next year in 2024, we have about 51 activities. And this year itself, just before I'm about the end of the year, is about 71 activities. So
Wow.
those are 3 years of more discussion that we basically have, and our involvement being part of a forum to talk about what we're basically doing and how we can basically support those other initiatives. Now, and throughout every single year, we have basically seen a consistency.
Nice.
And we report every single year since 2023, 2024, and this year. And our activities overall that basically capture the strategic theme 1 until the theme 3, we have achieved from, I think this year itself is more than 500 activities.
500 activities.
Right. Last year, we managed to actually do about 477, if I'm not mistaken. And, it keeps on increasing. And people are now aware of what IPA and how important is our members of parliament are being, how would I actually say, involved in a discussion, and how parliamentarians or their role can actually bring up or elevate more substantive discussion so throughout. So another mechanism that we basically have, we've always have a mechanism such as caucus, right? Caucus is one of those ad hoc meeting that we've had starting in the year 2017, right? But we strengthen that mechanism because there is no point to actually reinvent or invent a new mechanism. We know that we have the mechanism to monitor. So what we did was to actually strengthen those. And every single year with all the resolutions that we have, we've been monitoring resolutions since 2017 because that's when caucus basically started, with about 231 adopted resolutions from 2017 until 2024. I am pleased to basically share that we have implemented roughly about 90% of those resolutions. Now, what we are basically looking at is whether it's partially implemented, is a progress. So that's what we wanted to actually see. And we report this during our caucus itself, and we also report it during our executive committee to actually see that. Look, there is no such thing as 100%. It will be gradually increasing, but that's what we wanted to actually achieve. The key milestone of what each country managed to do, and this is where we basically learn from best practices from our members, and during caucus is where they will basically see. Now, is a lot of transparency, and we basically put it in our website as well on with regards to the progress. And I think people out there should actually have access to our website, because we want anyone to be able to actually have access to our database, resolutions. All those is very open, and please feel free to actually use our website and also our IPA link to get more of this. Right.
Okay. I think it's a very important highlight that maybe I want to highlight more, that to organize every meetings, to organize activities is one thing, but to actually have a system that can regularly monitor and actually to deliver those data to the community in a grassroots is another thing. And that's, I think personally, one of the most significant thing that you did, Ibu. Okay, now if we shift our focus from reflection to the future for a moment, now, what role do you envision for IPA in the ASEAN region moving forward? As ASEAN progress toward its long-term aspirations, how do you imagine IPA contributing to the promotion of more unified, people-centered ASEAN community and beyond?
I think we are very blessed with what we basically have. Even to a level that we have the highest level in terms of interface with leaders. Every single year, we're given the chance, or we're given the platform to have an interface with leaders, and we are really, really, I would say, lucky to actually have this. So we continue that every single year. And also last year, we're given a lot of, in terms of interface on a high level task force as well, to really share what we basically have done. And this is normally aligning to the activities what from the ASEAN wanted to do as well. So when we basically look into what we've basically done, we always look into the fact that what impact can it be to the people, right? So we look into the linkages of the regional frameworks, and national implementation is vital in terms of this transforming ASEAN shared goals. And here we are talking about the ASEAN community vision for the year 2045, right? So again, it is, when it comes to the ASEAN community, it is important to ensure that it remains inclusive, responsive, rooted in a way that it is unity in diversity. So when we actually talk to youth, I mean, we've been actually doing roadshow since the end of 2023. 21 universities that we've basically gone to, about 10 different countries, and not just on regional,
Across
but
the
we
region.
we went to also to others of our observer parliaments, such as Azerbaijan and also to Japan, that we managed to actually speak during the World Expo in Osaka. And also in Azerbaijan, which is the Baku University of Baku. So, but speaking to the students and also to our, in the ASEAN region students, we've reached out to nearly 17,000 students throughout, right? And it's really interesting to hear these voices coming in from the youth itself, because then there isn't any, when it comes to a platform on the regional, to be able to speak to the member of parliament, and their voices are actually being or concern being shared during our young parliamentarians consultative meeting, because that's what we basically did. So when we actually organized MIPA, the fourth MIPA this year, there was a joint declaration done by the youth. And what we did was basically we flew in the best delegates, right? And it was she actually came from Malaysia, Sabah, flew her in to Pahang, joined the Young Parliamentarians Consultative Meeting, and she was the one who basically delivered the remarks or the joint declaration. So that platform is healthy enough for our young parliamentarians to really listen to the voices from the youth. The other good thing that we basically look into, again, this is going through awareness, engagement, is when the chair of young parliamentarians started to actually go to different member states with town hall, talking to the youth, with the national parliamentarians. So that has been very actively involved. So I think YB Shahar from Malaysia, the chair for the young parliamentarians in Malaysia, went to 4 different countries this year itself. And I do hope that that will actually be continued by the next chair of the YPA, is because the youth really needs to be reached out.
Directly engaged.
Not just a matter of like giving speech, but really to listen to their thoughts and also their voices, because they do give a really good feedback a lot. And going through 21 universities, you know, it has been an amazing journey for 21 universities to talk to. One of those, I think, historical, I would actually say that I witnessed during my tenure is the process of Timor-Leste become a member of ASEAN. It is, I think my heart was really as well like so happy because I remember the last member joining ASEAN was Cambodia, and that was in 1999, and that was 26 years ago. And soon we'll be joining IPA as a member as well. And inshallah, there will actually be next year during the GA in 2026. So it has been a very meaningful step. And we've always been, involving, and they had always been attending our meeting as well throughout during my tenure.
Yeah.
So we are so looking forward to have Timor-Leste to be part of
Our family.
yes, a family of IPA.
Wow.
And again, beyond that, I mean, last year in 2024, we've basically adopted the external guidelines as well and procedures of the IPA engagement with the externals. And that has really strengthened IPA's cooperation with the Observer Parliament. And having more dialogues itself, especially this year during caucus. Now we basically have forum as well. So it has actually been increased in terms of our activities. Not just attending GA once a year, but beyond that, we also have our tripartite forum that we basically have that our observer parliaments are basically invited. So over the past 3 years, our numbers of observer parliaments has increased. We have 6 new members during my tenure itself. And it is reflecting the expansion of a more meaningful engagement between the parliamentarians in ASEAN and also beyond. And now, to date, we have about 26 observer parliaments. And we will basically see an increasing of this, and we are very glad, to actually have on board more members to actually join in, and we welcome them, and I'm confident that this engagement will continue to expand in the years ahead as IPA further strengthens its parliamentary diplomacy at both the regional and also the global levels.
Okay, but now as we come to the closing part of this last episode in the season, and on behalf of everyone who has had the privilege of working with you, I'm going to ask you the final questions. What is your wish for the future of IPA? And which elements of your work as Secretary General do you believe should be preserved and carried forward? And maybe lastly, what message would you wish to convey to the incoming leadership, the Secretariat, and of course, the Parliament of IPA member? Time is yours.
Right. So I think during my time, there are few projects that we've basically started. One of the things is basically on the women participation in politics and leadership, implementation framework, and also the ASEAN RAI. That needs to continue because this year we've started with the implementation phase, and we've gone through a national level this year with 3 countries at least, with Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia. So inshallah for next year, hopefully we'll actually do more and more on the national level because it is really a twinning with regional and also national because we need to drive it on the national part. The other one is I would like to acknowledge our development partners. We have been increasingly have a good support, right, coming from our development partners. And we're blessed with their belief, their trust in us and what we wanted to actually do in IPA. And with the framework, the Tripartite Forum is another flagship that we've basically started in 2024 in Brunei. It is a tripartite discussion between the policymaker, ASEAN business leaders, and also the parliamentarians of IPA at the same time. So my special thanks to our IPA presidents, starting from 2023, which is Her Excellency Dr. Puan Maharani. In 2024, His Excellency Sai Somphone Phomvihane. And for the year 2025, His Excellency Tan Sri Dr. Johari bin Abdul. The other one, I wouldn't be able to do this without the support from my team. They believe in my leadership, but at the same time, the national secretariats right? IPA National Secretariat has always been supportive with what we're trying to do. It's a lot,
Yeah.
right? A lot of work. We do understand. So I'm really, really grateful. Thank you so much. And a special recognition to the national secretariats of Indonesia, Laos PDR, and also Malaysia, and also our members of parliaments during my tenure, who basically hosted during my time the General Assemblies. It's never easy, to really plan. Even like this year, we're already planning for Philippines, right? General Assembly. I was basically there for the strategic workshop, and we have a very good engagement with the member of parliament and also the national secretariats. So as we speak, we're also preparing for next year, and I believe that the next SecGen will be able to lead the team as well. So I've met him. He has a very strong determination to carry on the legacy, and also hope that everybody will also support him on his leadership with regards to this. Now, I look forward with regards to IPA's future, and I'm sure we will cross path again on other things. But like I said, we've basically raised the platform of IPA to not just regional, but also international level. And we have a very strong members that has been supporting a lot of this initiative. So continue the dialogue, right? Continue the inclusivity and also cooperation with who we basically work with, right? And not forgetting the most important, like who do we serve to, especially the ASEAN community. And I really look forward, and I will be watching your next season of the IPA cast. And feel free to really have an engagement. And finally as well, I would also like to say thank you to the previous SecGen that we have. I'm the number 6, but there's 5 before me. And they basically have done fantastic work. I won't be able to continue that without their legacy before me. So what I'm basically doing is continuing the legacy that they basically have set up and pushing it to a different next boundary. So wishing everyone a happy new year, and hope to see and cross path again. Thank you so much.
Now, having heard the journey from the perspective of Secretary General, now we will turn to hear reflection from our colleague at IPA Secretariat, who have worked closely alongside her throughout the chapter. Now we will begin from the Deputy Secretary General.
Looking back, I can highlight at least 3 big milestones under the leadership of SGNT. Though, of course, there are many more, but since I only have 2 minutes, especially because I have to share this video with my colleagues. So first is the development and adoption of the IPA strategic plan in 2030, which for the first time gives IPA a long-term roadmap until 2030 and strengthens our institutional foundation. Then in 2024, 2 major frameworks were developed and endorsed. The Plan of Action on Women's Political Participation and Leadership, an area very close to Ibu Yanti's heart, reflects her strong belief in the importance of women's leadership. And the Implementation Framework on Responsible Investment in Food, Agriculture, and Forestry positions IPA to promote more sustainable and responsible investment aligned with regional priorities. And all these milestones are now in active implementation until 2030, shaping IPA's work in the years ahead. My message to Ibu Yanti: Ibu, thank you for your leadership, guidance, trust, especially for trusting me in this position as Deputy Secretary General, and the calm strength you bring into IPA Secretariat. Beyond the institution, Ibu, you helped shape many of us personally, including me. And my hope for IPA is that we continue what we have started together and keep directing our work toward what genuinely serves a good cause for our region. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are from the Directorate of Committees. My name is Sandy, Acting Director of Committees.
My name is Yasriani. I'm the Technical Officer of Committees.
My name is Nugitama, and I am also Technical Officer of Committees.
Directorate of Committees is responsible for organizing IPA meetings, ensuring that all this meeting runs smoothly, substantively, and also consistently. From our Directorate of Committees, her leadership did not just advance the objectives of IPA, it is really transformed the way we think, the way we work, and carry ourselves, strengthening our professionalism and confidence. And our work has become more substantive, I would say, impactful, continuous, with a clearer structure and stronger alignments with IPA's broader missions. And she has, consistently encouraged us to go beyond routine tasks and to innovate as well. And at the same time, she places a strong emphasis on feasibility and relevance, making our directorate's work visible, not only within IPA Secretariat, but also to member parliaments and also to external stakeholders. And the Directorate of Committees work on IPA meetings, typical meetings, not boring, but very procedural. And under her terms that I foresee, those meetings were transformed into more dynamic and meaningful platforms, enriched by deeper discussions, additional dialogues. We have back-to-back event, back-to-back initiatives, and involvements of broader external stakeholders like observers and also our partners.
And I would also like to highlight that during her term, it is also the first time IPA has a strategic plan, which serves as a guiding document for IPA member parliaments and its secretariat, providing clear direction and ensuring alignment in the implementation of IPA's objective from 2023 to 2030.
Yeah, that was during her first month, yeah?
Yes.
So we had these developments of strategic planning workshop right after she came to office, and we had this workshop to develop the strategic planning workshop 2023-2030.
Also, another milestone, Mas Andi and also Alma, was continued growth between IPA relations with ASEAN, because we engage more frequently and came to see IPA and ASEAN as equal important partner. So over the past 3 years, we carried out around 160 activities.
In only 3 years.
Exactly, it's quite a lot, right? With ASEAN, including 71 only this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just to recall, in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, that was the first time I had a missions with SGNT and attending one of the high-level interface from ASEAN on economic. I think one of the interface aside from the annual interface with ASEAN. So that was the first time the involvement of IPA. Thank you, buat Ibu, for your trust on me. Thank you for your trust. I will never be a person as I am today, as the acting director of committees, without your guidance. Your leadership truly strengthens our directorates and also how IPA meetings are organized, especially in more substantive and how they contribute to the organization's long-term goals. Thank you.
Yeah, I would also like to say thank you, Ibu, for your guidance and passion. You've definitely helped me to grow personally and professionally, and we hope that the values you have nurtured in us will continue to guide IPA's work ahead.
So for me, as a new officer of IPA, I would like to say thank you, Ibu, for your guidance and advice throughout my time in this role. And as I often say, that you lead this team with the passion. And personally, I hope that we can carry out the same energy forward under the next leadership.
Yeah, this is not a goodbye. We will definitely continue Ibu's legacy in supporting AIPA as the solely parliamentary organizations associated with ASEAN and ensure that all the voices of parliaments remain relevant in shaping the future of our regions. And Ibu, we hope our paths will cross again.
See you, Ibu.
Hi, I'm Amira.
I'm Karenina.
And I'm Norman.
We are from the Directorate of External Stakeholders Engagement. So, one of the biggest lessons SG left with us is to always keep our heart with ASEAN, to genuinely believe in what we advocate for. SG also showed us that one door closes, it's never really the end. There's always another door to open if we're willing to look for it.
Under SG leadership, inclusivity was never just something we talk about. SG consistently reminded us to bring everyone to the table, especially grassroots communities, and to make sure that every voice truly matters.
SG also taught us that effectiveness isn't about having a big numbers. It's about having a clear purpose. SG showed us that a small, committed team can still deliver work of real quality and meaningful impact.
So, in closing, thank you for your leadership, your trust, and the confidence you place in us.
We'll continue to carry forward the legacy and ensure that community voices remain at the heart of our work.
We wish SG every success in the journey ahead.
Thank you, SG!
Hey youth! I'm Raina Sayarang. I'm the Community Relations Officer from the AIPA Secretariat. I've been working in AIPA for the past 3 years, especially under Ibu Yanti leaderships. So just a bit background, I was started as an intern or the attachments officer, but then I continue my journeys as a committees officer. The committees itself is one of the directorate that's very substantive. We handle a lot of meetings. We do a lot of jobs that very focusing on the work of AIPA itself or the parliamentary diplomacy. And we've kept asking to the people like whether they know about ASEAN or not. And the answer is usually very surprising to us because only 30% that raise their hands whether they know about ASEAN. And it becomes very concerning when we talk about AIPA itself. Because when we ask to the people whether they know about AIPA, the answer usually is only 10% that raise their hand. And one of the most inspiring aspects from Ibu Yanti leadership is to make AIPA more transparent, relevant, closer to the people itself. That is why for the past 3 years, we have done a lot of flagship programs starting from the AIPA Roadshow, the AIPA Connects, and also the Model AIPA itself. And all these flagship programs is aims to make sure that AIPA is visible, accessible, and also relevant to the people that we actually represent. AIPA and Ibu Yanti strongly believe that the community relations is not just a unit. It is the soul of AIPA missions on the people-centered. Working under Ibu Yanti leadership has been a privilege for me. Once again, thank you, Ibu, for your leaderships, guidance, and dedications for AIPA.
Hello everyone! We are from the Directorate of Finance, Legal and Admin. I am Gratia Adang, Senior Officer of Finance and Administration.
I'm Daniela Pia, Legal and Admin Officer.
I'm Tomiran, Repertu Section.
Okay, first thing first, we would like to express our sincere gratitude for Ibu's leadership, especially for finance. I am especially thankful because SG's background in finance and legal affairs has helped shape AIPA into a more strategic and accountable organization. Under her leadership, AIPA learned to think not only for today but 10 steps ahead. During Ibu's term, we finally established an internal audit mechanism which has helped us strategize and manage more effectively. Today, we have monthly financial reviews, clear checks and balances, and a level of transparency that supports both the finance and management teams in using resources wisely. Thank you, Ibu, for showing us that good governance starts with discipline, clarity, and integrity.
Working under SG Yanti's leadership has been both challenging and deeply rewarding. She created a dynamic working environment that constantly pushed us beyond our comfort zones, not to exhaust us, but to grow us. She personally mentored the team, especially to youth staffs. She gave us spotlight and trusting us, making us feeling seen, valued, and capable. Personally, I'm very grateful for the trust that she gave me to manage legal instruments and important responsibilities. That trust gave me confidence that shaped my professional growth.
Dear Ibu Sekjen Yanti, thank you for being a motivating leader and for your dedication throughout our journey at AIPA. We wish you success and good health in every step you take ahead. Thank you, Ibu.
See you when we see you, Ibu!
Hi, I'm Ian Krishnanda. So apart from being host of this episode, I'm also working as a Parliamentary Relation Officer. And as this is a newly established position within the AIPA Secretariat, my role is to support AIPA's institutional engagement and cooperation with other parliamentary institutions, as well as our observer parliaments. And what I find particularly encouraging is seeing how AIPA's work and initiatives really can resonate beyond the region, helping to expand our reach and also build greater awareness. Now, this is potentially opens up new opportunities for collaborations and partnership, which ultimately strengthening the impact of AIPA's work itself. In addition, I also support other directorates, especially in managing parliamentary data and supporting AIPA's digital platforms. Now, data plays a very crucial role in our work, and it is encouraging to see the scale that we have reached. So far, we have managed to have 1,113 resolutions in our resolution database, alongside with 4,285 national law, 31 ASEAN instruments, and 2 international instruments in AIPA Link. Now, as this initiative continues to evolve, we expect that the database continue to grow, supporting greater legislative alignment across ASEAN. We also have 24 episodes of iPodcast, 25 including the episode you're currently watching right now, and where we invite parliamentarians and other stakeholders to share their views on range of key and timely issues. Now, in terms of sharing our work and initiative, AIPA Link Plus, our monthly newsletter, also serve as an important platform. To date, we have published around 23 editions, and we look forward to explore more ways to enhance interactivity and audience engagement. Now, that's essentially the scope of work of parliamentary relations, internally supporting data enhancement and externally working closely with other parliamentary institutions, including our observer parliaments. Now, during the Secretary General's tenure, 6 new observer parliaments have joined the AIPA, putting in the total number of 26 observer parliaments. Now, we believe that this expanded engagement will further enhance AIPA's role and impact moving forward. Ibu, I am personally grateful for the trust and opportunity you have given to me. Your leadership have encouraged me to step out from the comfort zone while also providing the new space for me to grow. And I will do my very best to support the team and to carry toward the work and legacy you have built. I wish you good health and all the best always. Thank you, Ibu. Until we meet again.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from the Directorate of Information and Communication Technology. My name is Reski, I'm a director.
And my name is Zafan, I'm the Technical Officer of ICT.
I'm Efran, a Senior Officer of ICT.
When we'll talk the AIPA in 3 years, the ICT Directorate, we have progressed a lot, not only the technical, but also on digital and media. And maybe Zafan and Efran will explain more about those progress.
Okay, regarding the AIPA case, amplifying voices of AIPA, we built our own studio and launching AIPA case start in early 2024. Studio officiated by AIPA President in February 2025. As of now, we produce a total of 24 AIPA case episodes in one season, exploring different ASEAN countries to record AIPA case. Another milestone, we also launched AIPA Lingo, our mobile application that has been used in all AIPA meetings and activities.
And for social media, as we start during Her Excellency's term in 2023, we only have 3,000 followers, and now we grew into 10,500 followers in 2025. Not only to commemorate International or National Day and only designing photos, we also developed doorstop interview, launching video of AIPA event, and then also AIPA brand. And also we have weekly highlights. And for more, I also learned about multimedia skills, especially in animating the MyPA logo.
Okay, thank you Zafan and Efran. Now we are continue to AIPA Link. Alhamdulillah, we are successful to develop this digital platform to connecting three documents between IPA resolutions, national law, and ASEAN instruments. Now we have more than 400,000 visitors. And for IPA website, we redesigned and restructured it on 2023. We have more interactive and dynamic website. Inside of the website, we also have IPA resolutions database. We are grateful that we now have more than 800,000 plus visitors for these digital platforms. This platform is useful not only for our members, but also to public, partners, researchers, and even the students. Ibu, thank you for your guidance, your fresh idea, and your knowledge that was transferred to us. And it made us great again.
And congratulations, ma'am, for this memorable 3 years, for many milestones you have achieved here with us. We will try our best to continue your legacy.
And I would like to thank you for this opportunity. To me, to be in IPA Secretary family is such a great honor. And please send our regards to your family.
Thank you, Yanti.
So that's it. Consistency, transparency that will finally lead to a very strong legacy. We thank you so much for your reflections, insight, and aspirations. Please know that this farewell marks not an ending, but an important milestone in IPA's continuing journey. A journey that, under your leadership, Ibu, has been shaped in a meaningful and lasting way. And on behalf of the IPA Secretariat, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you for your dedications and the legacy you leave behind. Thank you so much, Ibu.
Thank you so much.
And to everyone watching, thank you for being part of this final episode of IPACast Season 1. We look forward to welcoming you again as IPA continues to grow, evolve, and serve the people of ASEAN. Until next time, I am Ian Krisnanda, and this has been our farewell conversation with the 6th Secretary General of IPA. See you in the next season of IPACast. Bye.